Hi everyone, welcome back to Luxury Solo Explorer. As you know, it is solo, it is luxurious, and it is authentic. Also, a huge welcome to all my viewers from Luxury Junket and also from Fly with Passport. Your support means a lot, so thank you so much, everyone. Now, for today's live, before I get into the details, I just want to talk about what really luxury means for me, because this is, my recent trip has made me think again as to what luxury really is. So I believe that when we pay, like luxury means when we pay a premium, we are not just paying for the facilities. We are actually paying, we are not paying for a fancy room. We are not paying for massive hotel or big facilities or, some kind of a label. We are actually paying for the actual experience of buying it. The experience should make us feel, we need to have some kind of seamless hospitality. You feel welcome, you feel the respect, you feel valued, you want to feel pampered, you want to feel special. Ultimately, you want to feel good about the whole process of going through and buying whatever that experience is, whether it is a luxury hotel or a luxury bag for that matter, or a luxury product for that matter. So now I'm just that was the context. Now coming back, so my recent trip, I just went to Hong Kong, right? And I have to tell you, like, I've been underwhelmed. Like, I'm really not impressed with what Hong Kong has really shown me. And it just tells me it's not about luxury. Like, it's just about hype. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the real experience of, going through Hong Kong. And, and I personally believe that, it's not a place where I would be going again. And I will be sharing my authentic opinion about why I feel like that. So I'll be sharing some experience on that. Now, because I obviously want to give you some kind of unfiltered truth, and I don't want you to waste your hard-earned money just where it's not really appreciated. So let's get straight into it. So I've tried to divide it into logical sections so that it makes sense for everyone. So first is that I'll be talking about the people side of things. So why I think it's not, Hong Kong is not worth the money. So the first is the people side of things. So if you start, the first issue is the language itself, right? You enter Hong Kong and you realize that no one, literally no one, speaks English. Like if at all someone speaks English, it's like a little bit of maybe 1%, 2% of broken English, which is hardly any comfort. But really, no one really speaks English. Now, just imagine your struggle as a solo explorer, especially. You are trying to sort of navigate the street, right? And you've got your map with you and trying to show to the people, and you basically, people are giving you like stares, and sometimes they'll even say no to you even before you actually finish off your sentence. It's like, it's not only rude, but it's I mean I just feel unwelcomed, as a tourist. I feel like, why the hell have you come here, like that kind of a feel, right? No one really speaks English. I mean, the help is really hardly anywhere I found any help. Like, and I sought help in a number of places, not just on the street, but even in the shops. The only place I could get a little bit of help was actually believe you or not, was actually the police, because I met some of the police people and they were helpful, and one of them spoke amazing English. But other than that, I think that he was an exception. But other than that, yeah, no English at all. So it's very difficult. Like, you show the map to the driver, even if it is in Chinese characters, sometimes it becomes very difficult. Like, you're showing the actual map, they won't really understand, or maybe they pretend that they don't understand. So I think that Hong Kong claims to be like Asia's world city. So a city which claims to be the world city, and the language is such a big barrier. I think that promise of having that seamless journey, yeah, it sort of makes you feel unwanted. So English is a major issue in Hong Kong. It's even, and I honestly, if you ask me, it is even major than some of the other countries in the world where I have been, where English is not the main language. Even places in Southeast Asia like Thailand or Vietnam, where English is not the main language. Still, I believe it is even worse than that. Even in Thailand or Vietnam, English is a problem, but the hospitality is not a problem. People are willing to help you. But over here, it is like an adding an insult to an injury. They don't speak the language and they don't want to help you. So you completely feel frustrated. What do you do as a tourist? So that's the first thing. That was my first experience in terms of the language. Now then I will talk about the actual, the culture. Maybe maybe it is the culture or whatever it is. But I think it is sort of what's the right word? Like, I think this customer service in Hong Kong is actually gone from, I would say, it's gone from efficient, it's gone down to hostile. I would say it's almost like take it or leave it kind of a culture. So it lacks any kind of human connection, in my opinion. There is no human connection. So you go to the like when you go to a luxury mall, what do you want to experience? As I said earlier, you want to feel welcomed, right? You want to feel special, you want to feel pampered. None of that, happens in Hong Kong. You go to the store, there is no eye contact, like no one is smiling. There is no basic, sense of respect for the customer. You're paying for five-star prices, but you feel unwelcomed. I'd say it's transactional at the best and rude at the worst. That's my personal opinion. It feels like, why the hell are you here? Like, that kind of thing. You go to the store and you feel like, okay, they're doing a favor on us by actually taking money from us. That's the kind of feeling I got when I was in Hong Kong. So I think it's almost like a soulless, humanless, emotionless kind of an experience. Uh, Basically, like having, like, what justifies that premium price? Nothing. Like, the experience is, there's no experience at all, right? The product is, as I said, the product itself doesn't justify the value. It's the experience of buying it and going through it justifies the value and the price. But in this case, I think the culture of, service with a smile, which is applicable or which is prevalent in a number of countries in the world, including a lot of them in Southeast Asia. As I mentioned, countries like Thailand and Vietnam, they've got mind-blowing service attitudes. It's just non-existent in Hong Kong. So if you combine these two, lack of English and lack of respect together, that itself is a big no-no for me. So that's the first thing. The people experience is really bad in Hong Kong. That's one. So that's one. That's my first reason as to why I would not be going back to Hong Kong anytime ever again. So that's the first thing. Now the second thing is in terms of the traveling within Hong Kong. So once you reach over there, right? What would you do first? Of course, you need to reach your hotel. In order to reach your hotel, what would you do? You'll take a taxi. Now, first issue, the taxi guy doesn't speak English. As I spoke earlier, he doesn't speak English. Then comes the next thing. Guess what? You forgot to get your dollars changed at the currency exchange. And welcome to Hong Kong. Suddenly you realize your taxi driver is not willing to take you because you don't have cash with you. Yes, you heard it right. The taxi driver is not going to take you if you do not have cash with you. So you need Hong Kong dollars. So what do? You rush back, you get your dollars exchanged again and get into Hong Kong dollars, and only then you can get a taxi. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. And that's frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. Cash is a king in a city which claims to be the world city, Asia's world city, or something like that. I think they are sort of stuck in 1995 or 1990 is what I'd say. None of the taxis would actually accept, you can't pay digitally, which is really frustrating. In fact, when you, even at the airport, like something as premium as the airport, they just refuse it. And by the way, it's not just taxis. The number of shops, they won't actually take, cards from you. I mean, some of the, like, if you're on high-end malls, yes, they do accept the cards. But if you're doing the local shopping, like in the local areas, well, no. So that's the first thing. So you can't. So you have to get your dollars exchanged, as in, like your US dollars or Australian dollars. You need to get them changed into Hong Kong dollars before you can do anything. Like, so you can't. So if you're thinking about using your Apple Pay or you're thinking about using your Google Pay anywhere, then just keep that in mind, that it sort of ruins that vibe, because everywhere you need to. And then it's not safe as well, because you are forced to carry cash. And what that means is, of course, it may not be very safe, especially if you're going into some kind of, unsafe nightlife areas, those kind of places. So it may not be very safe as well. So that's the first thing, right? That's going around. Then coming to the next point, the taxi. Amazing. Welcome to Hong Kong. The taxi drivers, I think they are the most reckless I have seen anywhere in the world. And believe me, I've been to so many countries in different parts of the world, but I don't think I've seen this kind of reckless driving anywhere, which in recent memory, I don't think so. I've seen that, right? It's absolutely reckless driving. Imagine, you got your driver, he's got 3 or 4 phones on his, on his dashboard. He's looking at those, he's talking with those, he's changing lanes without giving an indicator, he's honking, he's overspeeding. Every kind of, traffic rule which you can think of in the world is broken here. No one really cares, even though they supposedly have speed limit and all. But in reality, I don't think anyone actually follows it. It's like, it's completely dangerous. And then, by the way, you have to wear the seatbelt. Don't forget that. And there is a sign over there. You don't wear the seatbelt, we'll refuse to take you. But guess what? They themselves break every law. Sometimes even the taxi driver himself is not wearing the seat belt, right? Which was weird, but we are expected to wear that, which is fine. I want to make sure we are safe. But imagine this: you are wearing the seat belt as a passenger, but the taxi driver is not wearing the seat belt and he's talking on the phone. So yeah, it is. I think it's highly stressful. Whenever I sat in the taxi, I was extremely stressed. I was sort of praying, okay, let him take us safely to the destination. So that's the next point. Now, then comes to the inner roads. So if you leave the outer roads, which are express roads or big roads, if you have to go in the any of the inner areas inside Hong Kong, most, if not all of the roads are winding roads. They are just going like this, right? Now, just imagine you've got a driver who's going at breakneck speed, right? They are jerking and they are going left, right, and center, changing their lanes. And on top of that, the roads are winding. What is that going to lead to? Yes, you thought of it right. It's going to lead to motion sickness. It's going to make you sensitive. It's going to make you nauseatic, which is what happened with me. Thankfully, I carried the motion sickness tablets with me. So my pro tip to everyone coming over here is, if you're going to use the taxi and you're going to go to the inner areas, please take the pill before you actually sit in the taxi. Otherwise, by the time you reach your destination for having your favorite food, you would be nauseatic. So yeah, that is something, I would give this, like sort of a practical advice I'd like to give to everyone. If you're sitting in a taxi, just make sure you pop that anti-nauseatic or anti-motion sickness pill, and then yep, you'll be fine. Because it's not just the winding roads; it's also about the kind of drivers you get. As I explained, they're not just bothered. So dangerous. Now that comes to the next point in terms of travel. So the next point would be, okay, we won't take the taxi, we'll take the MTR. Yes, of course you can take the MTR, but guess what? MTR is not as efficient as you would imagine it to be. It's overly crowded. Like, it's possibly so crowded, it's so difficult to find a space in the MTR in the first place, right? And the MTR goes at massive speed, but it also stops with a jerk every station. So it doesn't stop slowly, like it doesn't break slowly. It stops with a jerk at every station, which is kind of dangerous in my opinion. And it's so crowded. So to get the ticket, you go. I mean, it's not so easy. And by the way, you can't get the ticket if you don't have cash. Welcome to that again. You need to have the Octopus card, which you can buy from the airport. But if you've forgotten to do that and you don't have the Octopus card, good luck to you. You need to put the cash again. If you don't have the cash, then you can't travel, which is because the machine does not accept, the ticket machine does not accept the cards. Someone told me that at some of the counters, you can actually pay by your card at the entrance itself, but I never saw that. But someone told me that that's also possible, and I might have missed that. So apologies for that if because I didn't experience that. So I can only talk about what I did experience. But someone told me that yes, they have a facility wherein you can actually use your card and tap on and tap off, like we can do in Australia as an example. We can do that here as well, but I didn't see that, so I can't vouch for that. But yeah, it doesn't feel like you've been in a world class city, that's about travel. So so I've spoken about the people side of it. I've also spoken about the travel side of it. Now I'm going to talk about the shopping realities of Hong Kong. So we might have seen a lot of Instagram videos, a lot of big YouTube videos showing all the luxury malls in Hong Kong. Yes, Hong Kong is full of luxury malls. Like, there are so many luxury malls. I can't even think of how many malls I have been to. Amazing luxury malls, like high-end malls. They're filled with all your Louis Vuitton and Chanel and my brand name Valentino, full with those, and all the luxury brands which you can think of in the world, which I also don't know, So it's completely full of luxury malls. But what is the most important thing here? Well, the most important thing is that they are completely empty. There's hardly anyone in those luxury malls. Now, why is that the case? You've got the products are there. Some people might be buying those products, but they're mostly empty. And why is that? Now, it's obviously not because people can't afford to buy those products. They're like people who are, of course, people can afford to buy those products, but I think, why would you spend your money again, in a place where you feel cold, where the staff is cold, they are not willing to help you, you feel unwelcomed. The prices are also pretty high. I won't say they are like cheap from any standards, is what I can say. So I think it's like a that feeling of buying the whole product. It's again, that is what luxury is, right? The experience of buying it, that's missing, right? And because that's missing, it's transactional. It feels like sort of like a transactional silence. Like they're not even looking at you, like not even smiling at you. Some places, I was asking them, "Hey, can I buy this product?" And he says, "Go to the next counter. Go to the next counter." Like that, the person is not even like he's looking at the phone, and I'm talking to that person as a customer. I want to buy something, and the person is not willing. The person says, "Go to the next counter, go to the," like, just think how you would feel about it. Like, that's how I felt. I just felt insulted as a customer. I would never buy, even if they give it for free. I would never buy from such places, because that's how it is. Like, the respect comes first, right, before anything else in this world for me. And this is something which unacceptable to me. So I'd never buy from such places. So that's the reality of the luxury malls, in Hong Kong. Then comes the amazing thing. You might have seen a lot of videos around. Hong Kong has got cheap things in terms of electronics. This place called Mong Kong, which is like a sort of a hub for electronics, as they call it, right? Yes, there is a lot of electronics there. But if are you looking for gadgets, or are you looking for cheap accessories, or you're looking for I don't know, outdated products, or you're looking for some street kind of shopping? Is that what you're looking for? Uh, so there is no sales tax in Hong Kong, and because of not having the sales tax, apparently the goods become cheaper. But then comes the next question: what are you looking for? You're looking for cameras. You're looking for high-end, like a DJI. You're looking for high-end Samsung phone, or a Apple phone, or a Google phone. Those kind of things. uh, I don't think that Argyle Street was actually, had those kind of things. It was mostly like there was a street. It was full of street vendors who were selling some cheap accessories, old cameras and old speakers and those kind of things. It was not really those high-end phones which you would imagine. Yes, there were some shops which were selling the high-end phones as well. Don't get me wrong, but when I looked at them, they are mostly old phones, like refurbished phones. They're not really the real phones. And then the second issue is that you're not sure, even if you buy it from them, because if the product is closed, you can't really check what is inside. They might have packed it, and when you open it, you realize, because if you want to give a gift to someone, you want to get it packed, right? It should be packed the way it came, and then there could be anything inside it. So I did not get the comfort to actually, or had the courage, so to say, to spend like this, $1,000, $1,500, buy something, and only to find there's a brick inside it. That's how I felt. That I couldn't trust them at all in that particular place. So there's hardly anything. First of all, the choices are limited. Second thing is, even if it is there, you don't feel like that you can actually trust them, because you never know what is inside that. I think the only exception in that particular place, what I found was, there is a place called the Mongkok Computer Center. It's a three-story building. They have number of shops, and that is pretty. I found them to be authentic, and I found them to be. They had nice service as well. Overall, I found the products. There was a particular shop. I went there. I was looking for a light for my DJI, and even though he did not have the actual light which I was looking for, he actually helped me in finding it out, which was really good. So he actually gave me very good service. So I was pretty happy with that. But other than that, I think, other than the Mongkok Computer Center, everywhere else, it's a nightmare. Really, it's not worth it. And then also keep an eye on your things as well, because there are a lot of pickpockets over there. So, but other than that, I think if you go to Hong Kong, which I won't recommend, as I've mentioned, but if you do, then Hong Kong is definitely not the place where you would go. Only place would be Mongkok Computer Center. That's where I would say you can go. Then I also went to this something called the Bird Garden, which is in Mongkok itself. I went to. Now, when you hear the word bird garden, what you'd imagine? You'd imagine, thousands of birds in a garden, right? Or at the very least, like there are some birds which are, it's like a sanctuary or something like that. Well, welcome to Hong Kong. There is there is nothing like that. It was like, I was shocked to find that there were some shops over there which were actually selling the birds who are in the cages. It was nothing like a garden, nowhere close to a garden. There was no garden. It was just shops, concrete shops, and they are selling birds. And those birds are, I would say, they are in poor conditions. They are in, I would say, inhuman conditions, and they are selling those birds. And I just felt very pity. Like, I felt it was a complete letdown. I felt disgusted, to be honest. Didn't feel good about it in any way at all. So didn't feel nice at all, is what I'd say. I think the only thing which sort of saved the afternoon was the flower market. So there is a very big flower market right next to that bird garden, whatever they call it. If they call it a bird garden, it's not a garden, as I said. Basically, people selling and the birds there is a birds market rather than a birds garden. The only thing which was good was the flower market, which is just next to that. So they had, thousands of flowers right in the open. So I took a lot of videos from there. It's very colorful. Really like that. It was really amazing. So I think that was good. But other than that, it was overall. I didn't think it was that great. I think, yeah, that's my honest opinion. Last is regarding the apps which work here. So as far as Uber is concerned, welcome to Hong Kong. Uber works only for taxis, and it doesn't work for for providing the food. Like the Uber Eats is not there, so you need to go for apps like the Food Panda, and there are a lot of other apps, the local apps basically you need to use. And I think that they're not as user friendly as what Uber Eats would be. They don't feel as efficient, is what I would say. So in my opinion, it feels like you're going backwards, sort of digital dark age, rather than staying in 2026. So they're not as efficient, is what I'd say. Also, as you know, a lot of social media, they do not work in Hong Kong. They've been banned by the government. So things like TikTok, for example, they don't really work over there. Some people use a VPN, but there are a lot of restrictions. I had some challenges trying to connect to TikTok and all, but yeah, so that's another thing, which you need to keep in consideration. Then let me come to the biggest of all, the big things of all. So these were just the basics. Now I'll tell you the biggest issues. So why do people come to Hong Kong? You want to see the attractions, right? So what are the major attractions in Hong Kong? There are three major attractions from my perspective. First is you've got Disneyland. Then you got it's called the Nong Ping. And the third one is the actual, the Peak Tram, which goes up the hill. These are the basic, right? And then there are the buildings, because there is no open space in Hong Kong. Hardly anywhere I found any open space. There's no open space in Hong Kong. It's only got buildings. Everything is vertical, nothing horizontal, tall buildings. That's what Hong Kong is all about. So I'll talk about all the three attractions one by one. So starting with the Nong Ping 360. Now, this was the first money waster in my view. First of all, the Nong Ping is about, so if you're staying in the central area, or if you're staying in Shim Sha Sui, that was the place where, and it's supposed to be the most central place, which is right in front of the harbor where I was staying. From there, if you have to go to Nong Ping, then it's almost a 1 hour journey onto the MTR. So you need to take the MTR, and there is no straight train. So you'll have to change at some place, and then you take another train, at least. So that's first. Then you need to wait in the queue. Even if you got that crystal cabin ticket, you still need to wait in the queue for some time before they actually allow you to go up. And then again, you are waiting in the queue, depending on how early or how late you go. Massive queues over there. And then you get onto that cable. That cable ride is I think it's about 20 minutes, if I'm not wrong. Out of that 20 minutes, I think maximum 5 minutes is on the sea, right? And the rest is all forest area. So all the pictures which you see on Instagram, wherein you are sitting on that crystal cabin and you're taking your pictures, on the floor, those are all, yes, they are true, but they are only for a very short period of time. Like hardly 5 minutes is what I would say in total. And it's not the open sea, right? It's just like a sea inlet on which you're taking those pictures. It's not really the open sea which you would imagine there, like you have in Singapore as an example. So it's not like that. So that was a letdown. And the views are sort of, I'd say they're underwhelming. Like I don't think I found some amazing, mind-blowing view which I could think of, okay, this is great view. There's nothing like that. And then when you go there, that so-called village, which they keep saying, okay, it's a village, right? In my view, there is no village over there. There is no village, right? The place where you go, there is no village over there. it's like an overpriced mall, so to say. There are people selling different kinds of things. Some Chinese products are there, some restaurants are there. It's completely overpriced. What are you paying for? Why are you buying it from there? You can easily get it, if you are here in the city, but why would you buy it from there? And for like, just doesn't make any sense going there. Like, I was hoping it's called a village for a reason, but it's not. There is no village. There is a monastery nearby, so you can, if you're fond of that Buddhist culture, then you can go. There is a monastery there. You can go there. There is a big statue of the Buddha. You can go there. You can take pictures over there as well. But I wasn't sure why did I go there. Like, wasted so much of time in the queue for that 5 minute view on the sea, taking a picture over there. Paid so much of money, and coming to this so-called whatever village it is called. I don't know if I was very comfortable with that. Like, I think it's, to me, it's like a waste of time. And overall, I think I wasted like 5 hours of my day. And by the time I came back to the hotel, I was completely tired. So yeah, I'm not, I'm not too sure if that's the best utilization of the money. Especially the views are underwhelming. They're not those massive views which some of the other cable cars in the world I have experienced. But yeah, so that's my honest opinion about this Nongping. Therefore, I decided not to go for the. There's a fishing village which is beyond that. So when they said this is what it is, I realized what it could be. It was a cloudy day. Also on top of that, I realized going there in the open sea won't be. It was cold. It was pretty cold. So I decided that it's not a good idea. And all of that pink dolphin. Obviously, the dolphins come out only in the morning, as most of us know. So I decided not to go for that pink dolphin or the fishing village tour, because they actually, I realized where they are taking us. They're going to take us to on a tour of the sea, wherein you can see the Macau bridge, and the underneath, what is it called? It's like a bridge which is connecting this. So they want to take us over there. So I decided that, I mean, looking at what I had already seen, I decided no, it's not going to be worth it. I didn't want to waste my money even more, so I decided not to go over there. Over there. Yeah, but I think it was a disaster. Now, then let's come to the next disaster, and that's the biggest disaster, unfortunately. I went to Hong Kong only for one reason, in my opinion, and that was because I wanted to see Disneyland in Hong Kong. Right? Apparently, it's the smallest Disneyland across the world. So if you compare with the other Disneylands, the one in the US or the one with Japan, this is the smallest Disneyland, and this was the most crowded one. Right? So I actually paid extra money to get in 1 hour early. So they've got like an early access ticket, which obviously you need to pay extra on top of your normal ticket. You need to pay extra for that. So I paid extra for that, and they allow you to get into the park at 9 a.m. instead of, it's sorry, not 9 a.m. I think it's like 10 a.m. Either of the two. Like, you can get there 1 hour early. I think it's 9 a.m. 10 a.m. is the main opening time, but you can start from 9 a.m. But in order to get there, when you get there, you still have a lot of queues, so you still are waiting in the queue, because a lot of people like you have also got the early access tickets. So you are still in the queue, so there are still massive queues. It takes hell lot of waiting time. I think we waited for like, I must have waited how much? Maybe almost like an hour just to get inside, even after having that early access tickets, and there's no place to sit. So, and there's a lot of walking inside. So that's the first thing, right? It does feel like a sort of a nightmare, is what I'd say. The Disneyland is very tiny. First of all, it's not as big as the other Disneylands, the one in Japan and the one in the US. It's very small. The crowds, they don't really have anywhere to go. So after 10 o'clock, the massive amount of crowds will come in, and suddenly you are into a sea of humanity, and suddenly all the rides become super crowded. Even though I went on a weekday, right? I didn't go on a weekend, but imagine this is what it was like on a weekday, what it could be on a weekend. Anyone could guess. It's like a sea of humanity over there. I went on to a couple of rides. All the rides you have to wait for at least 30 minutes if you're lucky. And if you're not so lucky, even 2 hours in some cases. I saw massive rides, which I decided, no, I can't handle that. But those rides itself are actually only for 2 or 3 minutes. That's it. It's like you just count a few. I think you count till 100 and you're gone. It's gone. The ride is finished. I went onto the Frozen ride. It was just for 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes maximum. But that's it. I don't know, like when did the ride start and when did it finish? So I just feel like cheated. I feel it's like a joke. You're paying so much of money just for that 2 minute ride. There were some other rides, like what you can expect in a normal amusement park. Yes, all of them, invariably, all the rides. Some of the rides I didn't try, but I could see them because I was standing in the viewing area and I was watching how long it runs. The trains or some of the other, the boomerang, all of them, everything is just running like 2 or 3 minutes only, not more than that. So you don't really experience that ride, even if you've gone there for all of those amazing rides. Uh, and some of them I could not experience, of course, as I mentioned, because the queues they were like massive, mind-blowing queues. Like, who's going to wait for 2 hours just to get inside for a 2 minute ride? No, thank you. I won't do that. Yeah, and then there was this 3D show which I saw, which was also sort of okay. It's nothing mind-blowing, nothing out of the like nothing extraordinary, which I had not seen before. So it was okay. Like someone who's not seen it before might say, okay, this is good. But for someone like who's seen it, it was okay. It was like nothing great, is what I'd say. Then coming to the food is heavily overpriced. It's not. It's The quantity is small and the food is heavily overpriced. And it's only got limited places from where you can buy that food. Yeah, like it's not that you can use your vouchers and buy it from anywhere you feel like. You have to go to specific restaurants, and those restaurants have got specific timings. And again, you need to go there and wait. You get your ticket scanned, then you go and wait for it, and then you go and pick it. It's like a nuisance. Just too much of a waiting time. You won't like. How can someone else decide when you will get hungry? But they have their fixed timing. So you only go between, let's say, 12:30 to 4 o'clock. That's the only time you can go. But what if you feel hungry at 11 o'clock? You can't go and use your vouchers. Then you might have to go and eat at some of the other places which don't accept those vouchers. And by the time you've eaten that, and by the time now it's time for you to eat your like from where you bought your vouchers, you don't feel hungry because you've just eaten. So it's like you have to keep yourself hungry so that by the 12:30 time you can actually use your vouchers. So again, I think it's not to me it's like a joke. Overall, Disneyland. I mean, I was completely unimpressed with Disneyland. It was not so clean as well. Yeah, that vibe was not so fantastic like what you would feel in Japan or what you would feel in the US. It's not. It didn't have that positive vibe. It didn't have those Disney characters floating around everywhere and welcoming you and all of that. Except I'd say except that castle which you see while right when you get into the Disneyland and you see the castle. If you leave that on the side, I don't think I saw anything which was even worth taking a photograph. Is what I personally personally felt. Yeah, nothing. So if you want to go to Disneyland, just keep these Hong Kong Disneyland, of course. Just keep these things in mind. I personally feel that Universal Studios in Singapore is much better than Disneyland in Hong Kong. This is just my personal opinion, and there's so much to do in Universal as compared to doing that in Hong Kong. So yeah, and then last but not the least, coming to the Speak Tram. So this Speak Tram again is complete waste of money. Another waste of money. You spend a lot of time waiting to go there, right? Even if you got the special ticket, basically everyone basically is going through the same ticket. I paid for the special ticket to go, but at that point in time, that special lane was not open. So basically, I had to go through the normal train only, even though I had the special ticket. The only difference is I could go to one few levels higher. It's called the 428 top or something like that. And the only difference is you get a view from a higher spot. But then when you go there, you got hundreds of people standing there with their selfie sticks, everyone trying to jostle for the space, get the perfect photograph. Yeah, it's not that luxury vibe which you would imagine, going to a luxury place wherein, you'll have some exclusivity and you will have some space and you can feel, you can breathe. It's not like that. It's like a sea of selfie sticks around you, people taking pictures. You get to take the picture and, there are 50 people waiting. If you find a spot, there are 50 people waiting in queue behind you trying to take that spot. So it's very difficult. Uh, yeah, I think it's like a tourist factory or a mass tourist factory is what I'd say, rather than some kind of a curated luxury experience which you might want to experience. So it's not that. And then, yeah, sorry, I forgot about one thing I said last, but actually I forgot about one thing, which I think in the entire Hong Kong was the biggest of jokes. The biggest joke in the entire Hong Kong was there's something called Symphony of Lights, which is there in the Harbour Bridge. Not the Harbour Bridge, sorry. I'm remembering Auckland. Sorry, guys. The Harbour, Hong Kong Harbour. So they have at 8 o'clock Hong Kong time every evening, they have a light show. It's called Symphony of Lights. And I can tell you it's the biggest joke I have ever seen in my entire life. Biggest flop show anywhere in the world I have seen. I've never seen anything like this before. It is the biggest joke. They've got some lasers which are running from some of the buildings on the opposite side of the harbor. They keep running. It's very weak. It's not a strong laser. Also, it's very weak. There's no colorful, like some kind of attractions or something, some figures which are being made with the color, or it's just some lights coming on and off and some laser going on, and that to a few minutes. And there are thousands of people on the street, like just on the harbor side, trying to jostle for the space again, waiting on the promenade and wanting to see that. I don't know, like I wasted my time. Like, I mean, even the one in Singapore was much better than this, and some of the other places which I have seen. But it's I think it's 100% hype, and I'd say 0% substance. Not worth it at all. It was complete disaster for me. Like, I saw that every day from my hotel, because my hotel was facing the harbor, so I could see that. It was just completely useless, is what I'd say. Don't waste your money or your time on it, is what I'd say. So now, what's the final verdict? So my final verdict is, don't go to Hong Kong. There are better options. Hong Kong is not worth the money. And the reasons I have given you: the language is an issue, the people, the culture is an issue. You don't feel welcome as a customer. The things are overpriced. Yeah, I think the attractions, especially if you're going for Disneyland or Longping or like this one, the tram on the top, yeah, really not worth it, is what I'd say. Extremely expensive. Food is extremely expensive. Taxi is expensive. Cash you have to use everywhere. It's not the kind of place where I would feel luxurious and I will feel welcomed as a customer. If you have that kind of money, I'd say, there are much better options very close to Hong Kong, right from Thailand to Vietnam to Philippines to even Singapore to Malaysia to Indonesia. There are like a lot of options right around Hong Kong. Hong Kong would not be the option, and I won't be coming back to Hong Kong anytime soon. So that's my that was my honest opinion of Hong Kong. I hope you liked the video. If you got any questions, just feel free to drop them in the chat, and I'm happy to answer them for you. I like your comments. Really love your comments. When you send your comments, it just helps me a lot. So if you want to know like unfiltered truth about other locations, I'm in Philippines now, so I will be talking about Philippines soon. So if you want to know anything about any particular spot in Hong Kong, for example, where because I've just come from Hong Kong, so I can tell you about that particular place, and you can put it in your comments. And if you also want unfiltered truth about travel, any location in the world, then I request you to hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anyone who loves traveling or who wants to travel in 2026. I keep traveling. Traveling is my passion. I keep traveling, and I've traveled all over the world, so I can give you my unfiltered and authentic advice about locations. So thank you for liking, and thank you for viewing, and also your support means a lot. So thank you so much for that. It helps in keeping all these reviews. Everything is 100% authentic and independent. And so thank you so much for everything. And have a nice evening, and I'm going to see you in the next live session. So thank you so much.